I'm Pawan Singh. Starting in 2026, industrial operations in India will be governed by a revamped CPCB compliance roadmap. If your organization needs training or assistance implementing these updates, you can contact me directly at 8141 824876. By 2026, the regulatory landscape will shift through a non-negotiable overhaul that ends treating environmental damage as an incidental cost of doing business. At the center of this shift is the Central Pollution Control Board, or CPCB. Operating under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, they are the architects of this new, interconnected framework. This framework coordinates four primary mandates: preventing pollution at the source, setting rigid environmental standards, syncing with state boards, and issuing industry-specific guidelines. Integrating with this framework is now a requirement for industrial survival. Without full alignment, a facility cannot maintain the legal authorization needed to stay in operation.
The 2026 landscape is defined by four major shifts. We begin with the mechanics of the two output pillars: waste management and producer responsibility. This solid waste flowchart illustrates a required systemic progression. Compliance begins with mandatory segregation at the source, followed by documented processing and collection for bulk generators. Failing to maintain this specific waste pipeline triggers the immediate imposition of environmental compensation levies. The second output shift is extended producer responsibility, or EPR. This framework applies to specific materials, like plastic waste, and requires much higher tracking precision than generalized waste rules. This EPR cycle enforces four stages of compliance: tightening obligations, category-specific tracking, certificate verification, and continuous plastic waste monitoring. Together, these shifts ensure that every physical byproduct of an industrial facility is tracked from its generation to its final life cycle stage. The right side of the landscape graphic covers the enforcement engine, digital surveillance, and the financial framework. The CPCB is moving towards continuous digital monitoring. This facility interface lists the digital nodes a plant must maintain, including valid consents to operate and updated waste records. Digital reporting relies on physical hardware. Pollution control equipment must maintain 100% uptime, and stack monitoring must strictly follow the digital schedule. The final shift changes how penalties are handled. Environmental fines are no longer isolated payments that disappear into the general budget. Under the 2026 rules, penalties enter a centralized environmental fund. These resources are then reinvested into ecosystem restoration, new research, and the expansion of monitoring infrastructure. This closes the loop. Financial penalties from non-compliant industries direct fund the digital surveillance systems used to identify them. To navigate this machine, facility managers must maintain 5 core operational responsibilities. The first 3 pillars are active duties: acquiring valid environmental consents, keeping meticulous disposal records, and ensuring the continuous uptime of pollution control equipment. The final 2 are internal verification duties: conducting periodic environmental audits and providing continuous compliance training for all employees. These 5 pillars form the continuous operational rhythm required to keep a facility online under the 2026 standards. Viewing the 2026 roadmap strictly as a method for avoiding fines limits its strategic value to a business. The 2026 compliance protocols provide the foundational roots for a modern enterprise. These roots yield immediate returns through risk mitigation and operational stability. Ultimately, this foundation supports sustainable growth, a stronger corporate image, and enhanced community safety. Ultimately, the 2026 roadmap is a blueprint for long-term industrial viability in an economy that increasingly prioritizes environmental standards. To summarize, CPCB compliance is now mandatory, surveillance is continuous and digital, waste management is a critical workflow, and employee awareness is the primary defense. Do not wait until 2026 to begin. The time to implement these strategies is now, before the new digital nodes are activated. Use this material to strengthen compliance awareness in your organization. For consultation and implementation, contact me, Pawan Singh, at 8141-824-876. In this new landscape, consistent environmental compliance is the most reliable way to protect a facility's operational future and financial health. Thank you for watching.